Hi, I'm Melissa and I'm a Billy fan. And over the past few months, I want to say, I've had like a weird spike in having like nightmares and just like odd dreams in general, which led me to start writing them down just because they were so crazy that I just kind of didn't want to like completely forget about them. So I have chosen some of my favorite, we'll say, weird dreams that I've had over the past few months, and we're going to rank them. Okay, so we have our ranks here. I have made my own categories. They make sense in my head, and they only have to make sense to me. So let's go from the bottom to the top. So, at the bottom, we have part 2 with a bunch of question marks. Because this one is kind of like, okay, but like continue the dream. Like what happens next, like part 2. Like we're trying to get back to sleep immediately, we're trying to continue the dream, we're trying to get like a part 2. Like this one's pretty self-explanatory. Moving up though, we have take a sip of water and go back to sleep. This one's also kind of self-explanatory, I feel like. It's kind of like just, oh, okay, that was weird. Let's just take a sip of water and then go back to sleep. Nothing too crazy. We can still get back to sleep after that. We might just need a moment. Moving up, though, we need to sit and reflect. This is kind of just like you wake up from it and you just have to sit and reflect, you just kind of have to sit there in the dark and think about what your brain just conjured up, Okay, moving up, we have not going back to sleep. Pretty self-explanatory, I think. Like, we're not going back to sleep after that. We're staying up. Like, maybe watch some YouTube, we don't want to risk continuing that dream. We don't want a part 2 of this one. And moving up to our final category, we have lights on. This is our top tier, scariest thing that could possibly happen. We're not going back to sleep. Lights are coming on, not just the LEDs, but like the big overhead lights. Those are coming on. YouTube's coming on. We're watching the most family-friendly content we can watch. Like, this is just the category where this is, like, probably the, like, creepiest dream we could have, and it, like, we're thinking about it for, like, the whole morning, you know what I mean? This video is gonna be a lot of, like, storytelling and me just, like, telling the dream. So, I recommend you get comfy and cozy and get some snacks, because this might be a little bit of a long one. Okay, so starting off, we have a dream that I like to call the doors. Okay, I'm gonna have to leave a little bit of this one out, and also, my ex shows up in these dreams a bit. We were together when I had these dreams, but I'm gonna call them my ex. But I just want to clarify, I'm not dreaming about my ex. We were together when I had these dreams. Okay, so probably should put my phone right there. Okay, let's get serious. Let's read this. Had a dream that I was at school and walking around with my ex. We were trying to get to my art class, but all of the classrooms there were very small locked doors, and I couldn't remember which one was my class since they all looked the same. So we just sat outside the doors and talked. Then a girl came up to us and said there were 5 minutes until classes were over. This is a little bit that I have to leave out. But then we had to get to our next class, and I went to my video production class, which doesn't make sense in this dream, because the class that we were going to is actually my last class of the day, and my video production class is like in the middle of the day. The classroom was bright and loud, and I was sitting with my old bio teacher and my friend. For some reason I was really talkative, and then decided to drop the class. Because I think in the dream I was like really talkative and like excited and stuff. But then I got like really embarrassed that I was really talkative that day and I just dropped the whole class. Which honestly might be something I do. When I was walking to my next period, I realized I forgot all of my stuff in my last class. I went into my last class and it looked really weird and the teacher wasn't there and all the kids were random. It was weird, but then I woke up. See, I remember that part of the dream, kind of. I dropped the class, and then I left all of my stuff in the classroom, and I was so embarrassed having to go back and get all my stuff after I had dropped the class. We're gonna put this one wasn't that scary. Kinda just weird. So we're gonna put this in, take a sip of water, and just go back to bed. Because that one wasn't like too scary. It was just more odd, if you know what I mean. Oh, this next one. I don't even know what to call this. I feel like it had something to do with the fact I had just finished watching the It Welcome to Dairy series, but I'm not too sure. This one's kind of long, so bear with me here. I can't remember what the beginning was, but I remember being haunted by Pennywise. We had a group of kids outside the house for some reason, and he took them like the kids in Stranger Things. My dad went outside to go stop him, but when he came back, he wasn't my dad and was a very tall, bony, fleshy creature with huge eyes. The creature eventually just left, so I was just looking through the TV guide, but it kept acting weird. Okay, so I kind of remember the creature, it kind of looked like, I'll try to find the photo, but it kind of looked like that one photo. I'm not sure if it's like a backrooms photo or not, but it looked like that, and it kind of just stood there in the doorway and then left, and I was just like looking through the TV guide for some reason, but I think it was like being glitchy. Eventually I end up in a new house, and there's a bunch of people there. The room was very run down, so I assumed I was trying to fix it. Eventually I end up at school and at lunch. I'm not sitting in my usual spot and a few tables back. I'm sitting with random kids, although I can tell that they do not want me there. They call the end of lunch and I'm trying to pack up, but somehow I have 3 tote bags full of stuff I'm trying to pack. But I'm unable to, and a teacher walks over and asks why I have so much stuff, and that it's against the rules to do that. I'm trying to pack up, but more things keep appearing, and but I have to go to another part of the school, because for some reason I keep my records at school and I wanted them. The teacher is still yelling at me. Eventually we end up in Target, and I'm putting all the stuff in my bags away there and buying new records. They had a ton that don't actually exist. Eventually my mom comes into Target, which is in a mall for some reason, and she gets me and my sister. I then drive back to the school, wander around a bit, and then drive to my house. Oh wait, no, not drive back to my house, drive back to the house, so like the rundown house. I go to the rundown room and play with an American Girl doll I had when I was a kid. I then walk out the door, and I'm suddenly and suddenly I'm filming an ad for Stranger Things. When I tell you, these make no sense. Literally no sense. Okay, what do we want to rank that one as? I'm thinking, you see, it's not scary enough, I feel like. Like, maybe the beginning of it was scary, but then, like, everything else after it was just more confusing and weird, where it kind of takes away from the scariness at the beginning of it. So I feel like I'm gonna put it in the just need to sit and reflect. Because it's odd, but, like, I'm not gonna, like, lose sleep after it. I feel like I need to process it for a bit, maybe scroll on my phone for a bit, and then I like forget about it and fall back asleep. Alright, this next one is another weird one. Alright, so I was at the VMAs with my sister, dad, and Billie Eilish. Billie had on a red dress and had blonde hair, and she looked gorgeous as always. So apparently this dream takes place in 2021, because that was the only time Billy could really have blonde hair. Okay. We were watching someone perform, but I don't remember who. There was a lot of time in between performances, but for some reason we went to the bathroom during a country performance. When we came back, they were on a break for commercial again. But it didn't last long because Cat's Eye then came on stage to perform. The first song I didn't recognize, but then it transitioned into Gnarly, and then we left for some reason. And went back to my house. Also, Sabrina Carpenter being a murderer was a part of my dream. She was just going around stabbing people with glass. The vibes felt off the whole dream. I kind of remember that dream. It was really weird. Like, everything about it felt uncanny. Like, none of the people in the audience... I remember, like, for the, like, VMA part of it, I don't know why we're at the VMAs. I've never been to, like, an award show in my life. I don't know how I have so much detail about it. I remember for that part, like, me and Billy and my sister and my dad, like, the people I was with were, like, the only people in the audience who were, like, not just, like, sitting and, like, staring forward and not doing anything. Like, I remember it was just really weird. Like, it felt like I burped. Like, it felt like a hostage situation, weirdly. Yeah, I don't remember how Sabrina Carpenter being a murderer fit into the dream, but I know it was part of it for some reason. I don't know. That one, again, was more weird than anything. Honestly, though, we might have to put that in part 2. Because, like, going to the VMAs with Billy? Going anywhere with Billy. Hey. Okay, this next one is kind of recent, but, like, I don't remember it, like, at all, really. I'm gonna be just as shocked as you are. Had a dream that I was in a horror movie, but when we were filming a scene, we accidentally summoned a real demon. I tried to hide under the table, but it found me, and everything went dark. But then it just stopped, and I was in the movie again. I was in the back of a wagon while moving away from the house, and I was holding someone's bloody body. Why do I, like, not remember this happening? I don't remember this dream at all. I then went to an indoor pool and, like, jetted around the water. And, like, jetted around. It's crazy. I jetted around the water for a bit with my AirPods, but I forgot what I was listening to. I then stopped and started talking to someone, and we just started joking around a bit. Suddenly a black car pulls up. What the? Suddenly a black car pulls up outside and Billy gets out of it. Oh my god. I am in a... These are the words that I wrote down. I am in a state of disbelief as I watch her walk into the pool area. State of disbelief. God damn. I whisper something about her being very pretty, and then she sits at the same table I'm at, right across from me. I wave at her and she waves back, and then I offer her some goldfish and she takes some. That's nice. Chaperone would have killed me. That was a joke. I don't really know what's going on with that situation. Then the lights suddenly go out, and the people at the pool begin doing a ritual, and Billy holds my hand from across the table. She then gets up, and I follow her into this random door, and we end up in a hotel lobby. She takes me to this cafe and gets us coffee and buys me a chocolate bar because she likes me and thinks I'm cute. We then walk around the lobby for a bit, and then I wake up. I wanted to stay in the dream. I literally wrote that down. And then I wake up. I wanted to stay in the dream. Oh my god, this is insane. You know what? Should we take a sip of water and... The ritual stuff was weird. But, like, the rest where, like, Billy just randomly shows up, honestly, that's great. That's wonderful. I love it. I'm, like, torn between take a sip of water and go back to sleep or part 2. Honestly, part 2, though, because, like, it got so nice at the end. Like, we went through all that weird ritual stuff at the beginning, but then I fucking jetted around the pool for some reason, and then went on a date with Billie Eilish, I guess. I just accidentally put 2 of the same ones in here because I realized that I was remembering the dream wrong. I thought these were part of, I thought these were, like, 2 separate dreams, but they're actually part of the same one. But that's okay. We'll just put them both in the same category. Makes sense. This is a very long one, so, buckle up. If you weren't comfy and cozy before, I would recommend getting comfy and cozy now, because this is going to be a long one, and this is entertaining. This is kind of entertaining. Had a dream that my English teacher was actually my sociology teacher. The classroom was dark, and a bunch of random kids came and didn't really do anything, but they were all at the front of the classroom. Eventually they just disappeared, and the teacher put on a movie and then left. Somehow we ended up getting popcorn, and I was with my ex while still watching the movie in the classroom. Eventually we decide that the movie sucks, so we get up to leave. As we're leaving, the time is weird. And when I grab my backpack, I pull out a muffin tin with spaghetti. Okay, that's all that line says. When we walk out into the hallway, there's a ton of teachers just standing around and talking. The hallways aren't normal though, they look like the back rooms. They had a ton of doors that were cream yellow color, bluish greenish gray carpeted floors, and off-white walls. It looked more like a doctor's office hallway that just went on forever. My ex then turned into one of my friends, and we come across a door that just had darkness in it. We decide not to go in, and we ask a teacher about it, but he just says to stay away from it. As we walk, there's a big room with what looks like just junk in it. My friend goes in there, and then the teacher says that anyone who goes in that room will die. My friend is then attacked by a scary woman. Then somehow my ex comes back, and we decide to just go back to class. We ask the teacher where our classroom is since we can't remember, and he takes us to a room that has a saw trap in there. When I try to argue with him, my ex just goes into the room and sits down in the trap. At this point, I just leave and try to find the exit of the school. Eventually, I make it to the main lobby and see both my ex and my friend there, but I assume they're dead for some reason. Eventually, I end up in my mom's car, and it seems like everyone's parents are driving them home. As I ride down a big hill with my mom, she says that they turned an old mental hospital into our new school. Then suddenly we're on a different road, and my mom turns like evil and starts driving crazy fast. She almost hits a school bus, and it seems like she's trying to kill us. Then we were on the road, and I was with other people I don't recognize, and the car fell apart. Somehow we made it home in the car, though, but I was trying to rebuild it on the sidewalk. Then a woman came out of the second car and stood next to the man watching me. She then began to throw up white liquid. We then went inside and she kept throwing up, so I just went upstairs to my room with my dog. That's it, guys. Yeah, that one was weird. See, the thing with this dream is that the part at the end with, like, the car, with, like, the, like, woman and the man, I still, to this day, every time I think about that dream, I don't know who those people are. Like, I'm sure I've seen them at some point in my life, but, like, I don't know who those people are. Like, I literally don't recognize them at all. Like, I'm sure they're from, like, a show or, like, something, but, like, I really don't know. And it's weird. I think I'm gonna put that in the not going back to sleep, though. And then these were the two depictions I made of it, because I thought they were two separate things, but they weren't. Yeah, I don't think I went to sleep after having that dream, though. Well, that was a weird one. Okay, this next one is fairly recent and was actually a sleep paralysis episode. So this one I wrote, had a sleep paralysis where my whole body was heavy and tingling. I heard a man laughing very loudly, but I could not open my eyes or move my legs. I tried to open my mouth, but my lips were so numb that I couldn't, and it hurt to open. So I tried to kind of open my mouth with a little bit for some reason, but it actually hurt too. I remember the feeling of it actually hurting my lips to open my mouth. It hurt like that. This happened a month ago, I want to say, and that was the worst sleep paralysis I've had because it hurt so bad. Actually, it only lasted for a few seconds. I could still hear queso playing through my earphones. See, that one's kind of complicated for me because sleep paralysis is kind of different from dreams. For me, I heard a man laughing. It was very loud, unnaturally loud. But I do tend to hear loud noises, when I have sleep paralysis, and I'll talk more about that later when I talk about another sleep paralysis episode. But to me, I could feel that the man was staring at me from somewhere in my room, he was near my bed, maybe just a few feet away from the edge, he wasn't right at the edge. But like I said, the worst, and it sucks too because one of my biggest fears is someone being in my house. I had an almost kidnapping attempt on me when I was 13, I think. A few years ago. And ever since then, intruders and just stuff like that has freaked me out. Stuff like that just scares me a lot. The fact that I thought there was some fucking psychopath in my room just laughing while staring at me was scary. But again, this specific sleep paralysis episode physically hurt my entire body while I was having it, and that was the first time that it ever happened. So I'm going to put it in. I'm debating on lights on or not going back to sleep. I think I just stayed up and watched Queso after, so I'm gonna put it in not going back to sleep. Because I think when I woke up, I realized that it was just sleep paralysis, which helps chill me out a bit. You know what I mean? But I was still really freaked out with the level of pain. Even though it only lasted a few seconds, the level of pain that I was in, the fact that literally some creepy, freaky ass stranger being in my house is one of my worst fears. It really scared me. Should I put it in lights on? No, I'm gonna keep it in, not going back to sleep. Alright, this next one is my most recent entry. It reads, had a dream where I was in the perspective of a guy who followed this girl into a creepy basement, and I was with a group of people. The girl then disappeared, and we went farther into the basement, and it looked like one of those AI videos. We keep walking around, and everything starts to look really poorly made 3D animation. Eventually the lights come on fully, but we turn the corner and it's pitch black. We keep going, and then when we finally turn around, we start getting chased by a tall, skinny thing with a shopping cart. Real intimidating there. It picks up one of the guys and eats him in one bite. Holy shit. The thing then takes up half my vision and keeps repeating, "This is how you die." Everything then splotches out, and there's a bunch of random colorful things on a couch staring at me. And then I wake up. The whole dreaming I could... Well, this was the most incoherent sentence I've ever read, I think. The whole dreaming I could feel I was in a dream and my legs felt very heavy. I kind of remember a little bit of this dream. I remember what the basement looked like. It looked like kind of just a stereotypical creepy basement that you would see in a horror game. Really wasn't anything too special. I don't remember how my legs felt during the dream, but I mean, I guess they felt heavy. It's weird that I'm so in tune with my body hurting. We're gonna put that and just sit and reflect. You know, because I feel like I would probably be able to bounce back on that one pretty quickly. Because that one's really weird. It did have some scary elements in it, but that one's also kind of just weird. So I don't know, I feel like if I just sit and chill with it for a bit, I feel like I'd be fine. Alright, this next one. Short and sweet, but had a dream that my eyeballs were missing, and there was just screws in their place. And I had to screw my eyes back in to see. But I was scared to do it, so I just didn't, and then my eyes started to grow back around the screws. That was more weird than scary, I feel like. So I think we could probably put that in just take a sip of water and go back to sleep. I feel like that's a pretty easy ranking. You know what I mean? Alright, this next one's another long one. Oh my god, yeah, this one's crazy long. Alright guys, get comfy and cozy again. Had a dream I was in a sky zone type place, but every time I went they had less equipment until one day the whole building just suddenly disappeared. I then walked over to a shopping center where I met up with this girl and boy that I didn't really recognize, but I could sense that they were dating. We got drinks and another girl appeared as we started to walk around. We then went into this old looking shop and Seven Rings by Ariana Grande was playing over the speakers and we started singing it. Starting a little choir in the middle of this store. Then I was suddenly in an old thrift store with a lot more people. I picked up a few items. One that stood out was a vintage Burberry dress, and it was size 4, and my ex said something about it being a big size, and how it could fit multiple people, but then she just walked away when I said that it was actually my size. What? You can kind of tell at this point this is where my relationship started to go downhill, right? A vintage Burberry dress. That is really specific. I don't actually even know if I'm a size 4 or not. I don't really know what size I am. If it fits, it fits, you know what I mean? I kept looking for a bit, and eventually I find a dirty and faded Billy hoodie. But I buy it anyways. I then try to look at other things, but the lights in the store are too bright and I can't look up. Then the store morphs into a dollar store type place, and this creepy little kid keeps following me around saying he's gonna hurt himself if I don't help him, and I keep trying to run away. This also was like my subconscious trying to tell me something, but we're not gonna get into that. And my mom is giving him a tour of the store because apparently we own it, ? I remember getting a bunch of texts, but I never read them. A lot of them were from my friend and my ex. Again, my subconscious around this time. Then me and my sister walked around the store confused as my parents showed this guy around. We were then taken around to a bunch of gory horror scenes in the basement. It started off with a weird library, and then weird toys, like there was a greenish American Girl doll that was stitched together with a Cabbage Patch Kid. We then went into a room that was what looked like a zombie apocalypse recreation. There was a gory figure in different positions all in the room, limbs on the floor, and a video of a guy getting decapitated. We then left the room because we were low-key scared and everyone was just sitting in the library area, so we did too. Then the two main characters from Wicked came out and started arguing. I've never seen that movie. One of them went off to the bathroom and the other just left the room. We tried to follow after, but the dream ended. See, that one? That one was actually really creepy. I didn't describe it well, and I think I've left out a lot of parts, but I remember that dream being really long, really confusing, and really creepy. So, like, low-key, do we dare put it in lights on? See, I'm gonna put it in lights on because for me, I didn't describe it well at all, but for me, it was a really scary dream. Like, when I tell you, it was really weird. It was so weird. Okay, this next one, the drawing depiction went horribly wrong. But this one is my first sleep paralysis experience. So I was laying like the opposite way on my bed for some reason. Right as I was falling asleep, it happened. But I was falling asleep on the opposite side of my bed, and this happened as I was falling asleep rather than waking up. And I know because I was watching a Danny Gonzalez video, and like barely 30 seconds had passed in the video since when I fell asleep to when the sleep paralysis was over. But basically, I was falling asleep, and I feel what feels like someone getting in the bed next to me and just lying next to me in my bed. And like for a second, I was like, okay. But then I'm like, wait, I'm like 15. Who in the hell is just casually laying next to me in my bed like this? And then like as soon as I kind of piece that together in my head, I feel from the opposite side of me, someone get into bed, and like just the indent, like I just feel like the indent of someone getting in the bed next to me, the opposite side, so now I have two things on either side of me, and now it makes even less sense because that side of my bed is up against a wall, so in order for them to have gotten next to me, this thing would have had to like go over me, and the other thing, essentially. So I have this weird mentality of if I just pretend it's not happening, it'll go away. So I kind of just lay there, keep laying there with my eyes closed. Because I'm like, if they think I'm just stupid and I'm actually asleep and I don't know what's going on, maybe the demons will go away. Maybe they'll leave me alone. But no, because suddenly I hear this like, it sounds like someone's like pounding on my pillow. Like it literally sounds like someone like banging on like the pillow, and like throughout the whole thing, it just kept getting louder. Like, it literally was like that, but like on my pillow. So like, as I'm kind of thinking in my head, like, oh my god, what do? I'm being attacked by demons. I feel the two things on either side of me start to like take the covers that are over me and pull them down. You know what I mean? Like, they stretch them over top of me, like, basically keeping me in place. And I, like, open my eyes just a little tiny bit, because I'm still trying to play the, like, I'm, like, asleep, don't know what's going on card. And I see this, like, figure rising up from my covers. Like, it's covered in my covers, like, it has my covers draped over it, but it looks like a person is just rising up from my mattress with my covers over them. And I'm still hearing this pounding, like, super loud in my ears. And then, like, all of a sudden, and, like, right as I think I'm, like, done for and the demons are getting me, it just stops. Like, it's just over in, like, 1 second, basically. And again, like I said, in the YouTube video I was watching, barely 30 seconds had passed. And it kind of took me a few seconds to be like, yo, what was that? Like, what just happened? Like, I kind of had to, like, rack my brain around it, you know what I mean? But then, like, it kind of hit me, I'm like, oh my god, sleep paralysis. I had sleep paralysis, and, like, that was my first time. And it was scary, it was literally terrifying. And this happened, like, in the middle of the day, like, as I was trying to take a nap in the middle of the day. Because I remember I was, like, on my period, I had, like, my, like, heating pad on and everything. And then that happened. So I think for this one, I'm gonna go lights on, even though it was the middle of the day when it happened. It was terrifying, and it was my first time having sleep paralysis. And even now, I don't get sleep paralysis too often, so when it happens, my brain doesn't immediately go to, oh, it's just sleep paralysis. I'm like, oh my god, what's going on? Like, it always happens when I kind of forget that I get sleep paralysis, you know what I mean? You know what's so funny? When I was a kid, I used to think having sleep paralysis was cool. Like, I was like, oh my god, I wish I got sleep paralysis. Like, that's so cool. Like, I don't know why, I thought it was just a cool thing. And it's like, now that I actually get it occasionally, like, I'm like, yeah, I really could have gone the rest of my life without this. But, so for our final dream of the night, or day, depending on when you're watching this, I would recommend watching it at night, but I guess it's too late now. We have the dream that has stuck with me the longest. So in the dream, we were coming back from vacation, and we took our dog with us on vacation, which we normally don't do. It's because he's a really small dog and he's not well health trained because he's a small dog. So he normally doesn't come on vacation with us. But he did in this dream. But we pull up into our driveway and we notice that our yard is like completely trash. And like immediately we're suspicious of this, like, why is our yard trash? And like our door is like just wide open, you know, like it's very clear that like our yard was trash and that someone was probably inside our house or had been inside our house. Like something had occurred while we were gone, you know. And again, I told you, this is like a fear of mine. And birds, like literally like creepy people breaking into my house and shit like that, and birds are like my biggest fear. So we like cautiously enter the house, and the house is trashed. I think it's either me or my sister is holding our dog. And like all of our lights are on, like literally everything we can see from the kitchen is completely trash. Like our house is completely fucking trashed. Like not like robbed, like trashed. Like the person like didn't even take anything, like robbed us. Like they literally just pushed everything on the ground. Like it's, you know what I mean? So it's kind of like very hard to explain, but we have like a little like swinging door in between the kitchen and where our dining room is, and it has like a little like piece of like kind of glass, but it's like you can't really see through it. It's like really fuzzy glass, if that makes sense. But like you can kind of see outlines and stuff through it, but like you can't see clearly through it like glass. Like it's like, I don't know what it would be called. I think you know what I'm talking about, though. You're smart, I think you know. Anyway, but we can see that the dining room light is on through the door. And we can see, like, the silhouette of a person on the other side of the door. So, my dad, I forget what my dad grabbed, but my dad grabbed some, like, makeshift weapon. I don't know if he grabbed scissors or what, because I think all of our knives were missing. Like, I think he grabbed scissors or, like, a screwdriver or something like that, but he grabbed something to kind of, like, help defend himself with. And he kind of, like, called out from, like, and, like, by the way the person was moving on the other side of the glass, you could tell that they were, like, upstairs or something, and they had, like, been coming down because they heard us come back in and like they knew we were there. So my dad was kind of calling out to the person and they're like, hey, we know you're here, just like come out. And like my mom was like calling the police while this was happening. So this like short, like kind of like middle-aged guy with like a receding hairline and like black hair comes out and he's just standing on the other side of the table just staring at us. My dad's like, hey, what are you doing here? Like, what? And I just remember he holds up 3 small blades with blood on the tips of them. And, like, he's not saying anything, but, like, he just holds them up, and I remember me and my sister, like, sneak out the back door, and I remember, like, I do, like, the dream run, though, where, like, I can't run that fast. And my sister has a dog at this point. I don't remember if I gave it to her or not. I do, like, the, like, slow, like, dream run to the side of the house, and I kind of, like, crouch down, kind of hiding and stuff. And I remember the police show up, and they, actually, like, parked in, like, my neighbor's driveway. So I remember I was like I was like hiding in the side of the house, like trying to wave them over, and that's kind of where the dream ended. But it was kind of creepy. It was really scary when it happened. When like I first had the dream, I remember it really scared me because again, that's like one of my fears is like scary people being in my house. And like it makes the dream less scary now though, knowing that like subconsciously the guy who was holding the intruder, was actually the guy from that one Darman video, where the girl shows up to the guy's house and she's like, I'm your girlfriend in the VR world. And the guy's like, my dad uses VR. And the dad's just standing there like,
I'm your girlfriend. In the VR world.
Virtual reality? I've never used a VR in my life. I mean, my dad does. Dad.
like, after I realized it was that guy, it kind of didn't make it as scary anymore. But still, it really freaked me out when it happened to me, because again, this was like a really big fear of mine. So, honestly, I think that's going in the, I don't know if I want to put it in the lights on category, or just the not going back to sleep category. I feel like the not going back to sleep category. Okay, so this is my completed tier list of my weird dreams and nightmares and sleep paralysis. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you guys were very comfy and cozy while watching. I low-key had fun making this video. I like talking about my old dreams and stuff, and just the weird stuff my brain comes up with. If you guys like this video, then give it a like, please. Watch another one of my videos, and then maybe consider subscribing. I don't know. If you guys have dreams just as weird as mine, let me know in the comments below, because I like reading creepy stuff and weird stuff. So, let's talk about nightmares, essentially. But thank you guys for watching. That's gonna be it for me. Hope you guys have a good night, because you should have been watching this at night. I will see you guys very soon, hopefully.